We are MUTANK.
And you're listening to Bucketlist Reviews.
Right here, wherever it is you are.
Hey, I'm Sid from Bucketlist, and this is MUTANK. I'm shitty with names. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves.
I'm Chris Nasty from MUTANK. I'm the lead guitar player.
Steven Reynolds, vocals, bass.
Fantastic. How's the tour going, guys?
Dream come true.
Yeah, it's pretty epic. Very humbling. It's definitely a learning experience. We couldn't be happier. So just excited to, finish it off also and be back home, but see where we go from there.
Cool. And how's Annihilator been as tour mates?
Pretty sick. They let us sleep on the bus.
Very cool.
Once.
Yeah, and of course, just to see them play every night, like I said, it's just unbelievable. So they just get better and better.
Just to see them in Canada is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting to see them like 14 times in a row is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's like perfect every night, And then super nice guys, super easy to get along with. It's almost like it takes you off guard how easy to get along with them now.
Yeah.
It's like we're already divas. This is our first tour.
Yeah.
So now that you guys are superstars, what do you have to say to the little people?
Shine my shoes.
Eat your vegetables. Listen to your mom. Don't become a rock star because we won't have a market.
Yeah, we don't want
anymore.
competition.
You're probably going to become better than us, so listen to your mom and become a lawyer or a doctor or something.
These are some of the most metal as fuck answers that we've ever gotten in an interview. You said you slept in their bus. Did you guys party with them?
They don't really party per se.
Okay.
I don't think any of them drink or do any of the other stuff. So we didn't party too much on this tour, anyways. It was all long drives. Touring Canada is like you're just driving forever.
Yeah.
I found the time somehow, but
Yeah.
I was the only one really giving her. But
he was a designated partier.
I was taking over for everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's great.
You gotta have one, right? No, a guy that shows up 5 minutes before the set, just almost passing out.
Yeah.
Is that you?
No. Actually, I'm on when it comes down to it. So, but then after the show, I'm definitely the one giving her shit. So
cool. So, are you the main songwriter?
Yeah.
What is up with all the abbreviations? I need to know.
It was kind of a joke at first because I just had the term on the first record it's called Mech Metal, right? And there's also a song on that called War, which are both abbreviated. And then I came up with the idea of what's that, kind of based on that, which is we have a lot of thrash songs that have abbreviated titles.
Okay.
And then I wrote this song that's a kind of a 5-part song that's split up into 5 parts. And then it kind of worked conceptually on its own, so we decided to do it as an EP.
Yeah.
So it was kind of born out of the writing of the next album, which is currently being recorded and everything like that. But the wordplay stuff, I don't know. I like it. I like puns. I like, especially really lame dad jokes. And I like, part of it comes from hip hop. Hip hop is a lot of wordplay stuff. And so lyrically, I think a lot of metal bands, they irk me because lyrically it's really weak or really lazy.
Yeah.
Or it's very repetitive or something. They're constantly talking about the same stuff. It works for certain bands. One of my favorite bands is Manowar.
Right.
I almost exclusively talk about going into battle and dying, which is amazing. And somehow I can listen to that 50, 60 times. But I don't think I could pull that off if I was writing songs. I don't know what I would write about that. So it's more just something for people to delve into, something that people can read, and there's something more to the band than just you look at the artwork and you know what the lyrics are, kind of thing.
Cool.
Not the shit on anything else, but we're the best.
So going back, you heard it first, they're the best. It's a bucket list exclusive. So going back to Mech Metal a little bit, I actually reviewed that record when it came out. It's a fucking great record.
Sorry about that.
It's a great fucking record, man. How do you feel about where you've come as a songwriter and as a band in general in the years that have passed?
I feel good. The band has gone through some lineup changes, so the writing process changes whenever we get different people.
Right.
Normally I will come in with songs or ideas for songs, and then they'll kind of form as we work on them together, or as you show them with someone else, and they'll have an idea to change little things, whatever. So it still feels very fresh because Chris here has been in the band
for only about a year now.
So it's and we haven't done a lot of writing with him, but we've done some, and I've used some of his music for on the record that he's come with. So it's it's constantly changing. I mean, that's my favorite thing to do. Like, if I wasn't in this band or doing nothing else, I would be sitting home writing songs no matter what. Like, it's just what I like to do. That's what, like, everything else that's surrounding the music stuff, like the business side, like having to sell t-shirts, be a t-shirt manufacturer, and like doing tours, blah blah blah. Everything stems from the fact that I just love writing songs. And then, you know, with Mech Metal, we put it out, we just shit it out really quick. We wrote that whole thing. I mean, it was written from, like, you know, people come to a band, they have their old songs and stuff, but the whole thing was put together within like a couple months. So now we have some time to sit back and cool down and like kind of see where the pieces actually land with the band, because we shit that out and people liked it, so it's like, okay, I guess we should stay a band, we should keep doing it, we should pursue it, and like it's done really well for us so far. So who knows, maybe now we'll start trying to write songs and people won't like them.
I also want to talk about a little bit the art. You, Andre, what's his name? Buzikov, right. He redid the art for Mech Metal, and he did the album art for your latest release for What's That. So you guys have kind of a relationship going. How did that start, and what's it like working with him?
It was one of those things where you just like look at a bunch of artists on Instagram, and I liked his work, I liked what he did. It was very close to like Ed Repka, who was like, because Megadeth is like my biggest influence for music. Okay. So Ed Repka is the guy that did like he did Peace Cells, he did Rust in Peace, and he did a bunch of other thrash bands, and continues to. Yeah. And Andre is like obviously within that style. So we wanted something like that where you kind of knew what you were getting into when you like buy it. And like also I prefer that the more traditional art style, like hand painted stuff. But yeah, we just hit him up, he gave us a price, we got the artwork, and then I kind of like when bands, I mean, I don't know, maybe we'll get other artists that do different covers, but I kind of like the idea of like a band having like Iron Maiden, they use the same artist for everything. Right. So it worked pretty well for them, you know, who sold more. And they've got their mascot, right? Eddie is like on every cover.
They became very identifiable because of it.
Yeah, they have their art style. So I mean, I don't know, it's still very early in like our timeline as a band to know if that's kind of the direction we're gonna go, or if we're gonna like have a album cover where it's just jizz and upload, you know, who knows.
I'm expecting that now.
Yeah, about 10 years maybe.
Like I didn't know I wanted that, but now I want that.
now it needs to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He's a cool guy. I like his art a lot, so I really want to do more stuff with him. Cool. If only we had infinite funds, I would love to do like what Iron Maiden do. Just have like artwork for everything. Every song there's like a different artwork. Right. But it's just a fantasy.
So you guys are kind of like, you're like the new wave of thrash. You're like the new generation.
The new wave.
The new wave of thrash.
The new wave was in like 2001.
Yeah, I guess, right? But what do you think of the state of thrash metal now? Do you think it's harder for thrash metal bands to like get themselves noticed? Do you think they have to be more creative, that they have to push boundaries?
I mean, it's hard for me to comment. Like, we haven't been over to Europe. We've done Canada. In Canada, it's kind of tough, you know?
Yeah.
It's not the biggest market for this kind of thing. So I don't have the most realized picture, and also, I mean, we've only been a band for about 4 years. Right. And it's hard for me to say that it's been professional that whole time, you know? I would imagine calling myself a professional musician is still a contentious idea. But I think that it's good because MUTANK exists now. And Annihilator are touring Canada, so that's a good sign, right?
Yeah.
For thrash metal. Ask me again in a year.
Yeah, I kind of have a different idea of it. I think it's kind of really starting to push back to the forefront again. It's becoming more accepted. It's been around for some time, so it's becoming like a little bit of a credible art form, and people are starting to notice that.
Right.
Also, though, that being said, because there are so many young bands coming out, it is a little bit difficult to stand out amongst the pack, and you really gotta push with songwriting and take your time with it, not just push out shit, really develop your stuff to be heard, seen, and liked by people.
So like, focus on your art.
Yeah,
take the time to work on
it.
it. Don't just shit.
Don't just shit it out for the sake of doing it. Just, you know, take your time. You'll find the right people, and you'll make the right music, and things will happen.
Like, if you take that question, you replace thrash metal with anything.
Yeah.
Right now, things are very uncertain. Like, for a long time, everything was going in cycles, 20-year cycles. Like, for example, 20 years ago is when nu metal became really big. You're going to start seeing nu metal coming back.
Right.
Nu metal bands are going to start popping up. It's just going to happen. People are going to start wearing silver puffy jackets, I guarantee it. That was a good style, right? Early 2000s. So these things, they go in cycles, but as with the introduction of internet and like faster information, the cycle starts to speed up and become more amalgamated. So I think what you're going to start to see happen is like people are gonna start. You're gonna see more bands that are doing like a referential style, but I don't think they're gonna kind of know where they come from because everything is starting to become one thing in a lot of ways.
Right.
And so I think when you talk about thrash metal, death metal, or any subgenre of metal, you'll see them. They're trying to separate, but it's very hard because it gets amalgamated. But you see, like, if you really want to be successful, or you really want to be like amongst those bands that are like mid-level successful, you have to be very specific in your genre, or you have to go completely different.
Right.
You can't really
pull a Faith No More and just
tough.
kind of do everything.
Yeah. It's tough to like skate the line. So I mean, for us, I think about this stuff a lot, but I try not to let it like influence my songwriting because I think it needs to be a more personal thing. I think it's more about connecting with people. I think that's kind of forgotten. People are more worried about getting clicks and like getting likes on their Facebook. And to me, that's a little bit facetious. You know?
So speaking of a band that everyone thinks is just in it for the clicks, I'm going to see Nickelback later tonight.
Right.
And you guys are fellow Canadian musicians. I want to know honestly, what do you guys think about them? Do you like them? If you do, what are your 5 favorite things about them?
They went really pop, right? They went super pop. They used to be kind of cool. Like when I was a kid and I'd see them on Much Music, like those old music videos, they were kind of heavy. And they just went super pop. I mean, good for them. They made a ton of money. And if that's what they want to do. But I find it hard to imagine somebody being like, my dream is to sell out, you know? And I mean, maybe they didn't sell out. Maybe they're just like, love that pop music. And that's like the roots of, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it when you look at their history.
You had a story.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I just have this huge hankering suspicion that Chad Kroeger just has this massive swinging dick and everybody loves him because of it. I mean, like, he married Avril Lavigne. That's pretty much Canada's princess, you know? You can't hate on him for that.
That's
well,
true.
you can hate on him, but you're just jealous, so, you know? But good kudos to them for, like, being the biggest rock band in the world, and they're Canadian. I fucking love that. I'm a patriot of my country, so I'm proud of that. But not the biggest fan in the world of them, per se, but I have heard time and time again, if you actually do go to a Nickelback show, there's something to it. So until I actually see them live, I'm just gonna still rely on this hankering suspicion about his, you know, underlying package.
Huge swinging dick.
His huge swinging dick.
Lots
But
of people
Chad
like to shit on-
Kroeger's huge swinging dick.
Yeah, that Chris
you heard it here
fantasy.
first. I just want to see your dick, Chad Kroeger. Just you know, solidify.
I don't want to be in
that's
this
actually a
band
thing.
anymore.
Okay, so MUTANK just broke up.
No,
Last
we tour
question.
with Nickelback.
Yeah.
Why the fuck
Take us
not, right?
Nickelback. Come on.
Well, I heard they party too. Apparently, they were good friends
I
with
mean,
Dimebag
all of their
Darrell and all the
fucking
guys
songs
in
are about it.
Pantera. Yeah, they just rage apparently. So, and they're from Alberta, and I know quite a few people from Alberta, and they're all a bunch of rowdy cats. So, they must be. So, beyond that, I can't really comment too much.
So Chad, you need to take these guys out. It's going to save the band.
Yeah.
Please.
Please.
Last question.
I guess.
Last question. Just him. Last question. What is on? This is Bucketlistmusicreviews.com that you're being interviewed by.
Yes.
So what is on your bucket list? It doesn't have to be music-wise. It can just be in general. What is the one thing you want to do before you kick the bucket?
Well, I have quite a few things. I definitely, like, one thing I would love to do is, well, we just went across Canada, and we're going with an Australian band. I'd love to go across Australia and experience that a little bit, camp out in the desert. That'd be really cool. But if it was musically, I would just love to meet Ace Frehley. That would be my dream, and just hang out with him for a couple hours. That would be the
Fucking
greatest thing
cool.
ever, yeah.
Get some makeup tips.
Get some makeup tips, maybe steal one of his Les Pauls, who knows, man?
Not Gene Simmons.
Not Gene Simmons,
Not
fuck that
Gene
guy.
Simmons.
Ace Frehley all the way.
All right, cool.
I want Metallica to open for us. Gotta dream big, right?
You got to dream big, man.
That's a good bucket
Honestly,
list.
I want to tour with Metallica. Like to me, that's like after this tour, we're kind of like saying that as like a joke because if we land anywhere below that, it's okay, you know.
It's funny because I was telling Jeff before that he's kind of like the Canadian Metallica.
Oh, totally.
Annihilator.
Yeah, he's the
so it's just
Canadian
like
Van Halen.
they'd be the next step, right?
Yeah. That'd be really cool.
That'd be
But it's
really
like-
neat.
But it'd be stupid. I would be laughing the whole time, being like, "This is a."
You gotta get a close up on his Annihilator shirt right now.
Shameless promotion. I love
Very
my
cool,
Islanders.
guys.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much. That was fun.